What would you do if a wild animal showed up at your door and looked at you like you were customer service, not running away, not attacking, just standing there with an expression that clearly says, "I have a problem and you are going to fix it"? Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, buckle up, because today we are diving into real stories of wild animals who decided humans were their personal tech support. And honestly, some of these creatures are better at asking for help than most people I know. So picture this. A woman in Ireland opens her front door and finds a fox sitting on her porch, not rummaging through trash, not scared, just sitting, waiting, like it had an appointment. She notices the fox has a jar stuck on its head. The fox looks at her. She looks at the fox. And in that moment, an unspoken agreement forms between two species. She carefully removes the jar, and the fox just trots away. No thank you card, no tip, just gone. And this woman is left standing there thinking, did that really just happen? But here is the thing. This happens way more than you would think. Animals are out here flagging down humans like we are roadside assistants for the entire animal kingdom. Now, let us talk about something that might sting a little. Wild animals might actually be smarter than your ex. I know, low bar. But hear me out. Researchers have discovered that many animals can recognize humans as problem solvers. Not just as threats or food sources, but as those weird, tall creatures who sometimes make problems disappear. Ravens, for example, have been observed leading humans to beehives. Why? Because ravens are smart enough to know humans will crack open the hive and ravens can swoop in for the leftovers. They literally invented a partnership program without filling out any paperwork. Dolphins have been documented pushing injured swimmers toward shore and approaching boats when they are tangled in fishing line. One dolphin in New Zealand kept approaching divers until they noticed a fishing hook in its fin. The divers removed it, and the dolphin stuck around for what researchers described as a thank you swim. Meanwhile, your ex still has not figured out how to reply to a text in under 3 days. Monkeys in certain regions have learned to approach tourists not just for food, but when they have injuries. There are documented cases of monkeys presenting wounds to humans who then cleaned and bandaged them. These animals have somehow figured out that we are the species with the medical supplies. They have cracked the code. But how exactly do animals communicate that they need help? Welcome to the body language of a desperate raccoon. Scientists have studied the ways wild animals signal distress to humans, and what they found is genuinely fascinating. Animals use deliberate eye contact. They approach slowly rather than fleeing. They present injured body parts. They make repeated vocalizations that are different from their normal sounds. Basically, they have developed a whole nonverbal system for saying, "Hey, big hairless creature, I require your assistance." One researcher compared it to the way a toddler tugs at your sleeve when they want something. Except the toddler has claws and rabies is a possibility. Raccoons are particularly good at this. They have those little hands and those expressive faces, and they know how to use them. There is footage of a raccoon approaching a family on their porch and holding up its paw, which had something wrapped around it. It just stood there, holding up its little paw, looking pitiful until they helped. That raccoon understood the assignment: maintain eye contact, look pathetic, wait for results. Honestly, that raccoon has better communication skills than half the people on dating apps. Now, before you run outside looking for animals to rescue, let me share some cautionary tales. Because when helping goes wrong, it goes hilariously, catastrophically wrong. A man in Canada once tried to help a moose that appeared to be stuck in a frozen lake. Noble intention, right? The moose was not stuck. The moose was fine. The moose was just vibing in the cold water. But when this helpful human approached, the moose decided he was a threat and chased him across the ice for what witnesses described as a solid 4 minutes of pure cardboard human versus 1 ton of angry moose energy. Another person tried to help a swan that seemed to have something wrapped around its neck. The swan responded by beating this person with its wings so hard they fell into the pond. Swans can break bones with those wings, by the way. This person was trying to be a Disney princess and got turned into a blooper reel. Then there is the infamous case of the squirrel rescue. A woman found a squirrel that seemed lethargic and slow, so she brought it inside to warm it up. Turns out the squirrel was not cold. The squirrel was drunk. It had eaten fermented pumpkins, and when it sobered up in her living room, it proceeded to destroy absolutely everything it could reach before escaping through a window she did not even know was open. The lesson here is clear. Sometimes animals do need help. Sometimes animals are just having a weird day, and your involvement will only make things worse for everyone. So why do wild animals trust humans in their moments of crisis? The science behind this is actually pretty interesting. Researchers call it a temporary suspension of fear response. When an animal is in genuine distress, its brain enters a state where survival calculations change. Normally, the equation is human equals danger, stay away. But when an animal is already in danger, like trapped or injured or being attacked by a predator, its brain goes, wait, that human thing might actually be less dangerous than my current problem. It is like when your car breaks down on the highway at 2 a.m. You have that one friend. You know the one. They are annoying, and they will definitely make fun of you, but they own a truck and they will show up. That is what humans are to these animals in crisis. The annoying but weirdly useful option. Studies show this behavior is more common in areas where animals have had neutral or positive experiences with humans. Animals in wildlife corridors near communities that do not hunt them are more likely to approach people when injured. They have learned through observation that some humans help and do not eat them afterward, which honestly is a pretty reasonable criteria for trust. So what does all of this mean for us? These moments of animal-human connection are more than just cute videos. They tell us something important about the world we share. Wild animals are adapting to our presence in ways we never expected. They are learning our patterns, reading our behavior, figuring out which of us might help and which of us to avoid. And maybe that should make us think about the kind of neighbors we want to be. Every time someone helps a tangled dolphin or removes a jar from a fox, they add a data point to the collective animal understanding of humanity. We are being evaluated, and some of us are getting 5 stars. So the next time a wild animal approaches you, maybe take a second before you panic. Maybe it is lost. Maybe it is drunk on fermented fruit. Maybe it genuinely needs help. Or maybe it is just judging you. Animals do that too. Either way, we live in a world where a raven might try to recruit you for a heist, and a raccoon might hand you its problems like a tiny, furry customer. And honestly, that is pretty amazing. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second, and it helps this channel keep making content about the weird and wonderful things happening on our planet. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever had a wild animal approach you for help? I want to hear your stories. The funnier the better. And give this video a like so more people can learn that somewhere out there a dolphin is waiting to tap them on the shoulder. Thanks for watching, and remember, if a squirrel shows up at your door acting strange, maybe just leave it outside.